FaZe vs G2 was the headline of day 3, and the match we got was not what we expected at all. G2 is a dominant force coming into this major as the second best team in the world and winning the Blast Fall final. So on all pages, G2 was not only expected to make it to the playoffs, but be a contender to win the whole event. And G2 has a lot of stories with the majors, with NiKo miss on nuke and just NiKo's hunt for a major trophy after winning every other event possible. But not all was perfect for G2 going into this major. G2 has some of the best players in the world with m0NESY and NiKo, but the rumors on the street is that NiKo is getting ready to depart to the org to join the money printing machine of Falcons.
Once upon a time, when you know that rosters are changing, assuming teams are essentially dead, you sit there and you go, well, who cares? But this is the fact that G2 are professionals. This is the roster we have right now. This is what the circuit looks like in front of us, and we are here to lift trophies with this team now.
So the hopes for G2 making it far for the major was not too bright, as they started a major run with a loss to Mongols, who are on a crazy run at the moment. But the steam picked up with 2 quick wins versus Big and 3D Max, and they landed themselves in the 2-1 bracket of the major. 2 more chances to make it to the playoffs. FaZe on the other hand, well, how can I put this nicely? They're in a bit of a slump. After starting the CS2 release as the most dominant team in the world, with ropz performing at a level that put him in the contender for the best player in the world, and FaZe were winning in CS2, making it to 6 grand finals in a row and winning 3 of them before the major. The first major of CS2 rolled around, and FaZe were the team to look out for. And here is when the downfall happened. After a close best of 3, FaZe lost the major trophy to Na'Vi. And if we go ranking wise, after the major loss, we can see Na'Vi rose to become the best team in Counter-Strike 2, while FaZe kept on falling and falling.
So it's great to see FaZe reignite it. And a lot of people have been down in the dumps on this roster on your screen right here. It feels like the trajectory for them is headed directly into the ground.
So going into the RMR, FaZe were a team you expected to make it to top 16. And here FaZe beat Cloud9, Falcons and Fnatic to go 3-1 and lock in the legend spot. Going into the major elimination stage, it was looking good for FaZe, who on day 1 secured one crucial best of 1 win over wildcards, before Heroic beat them on Ancient. But FaZe picked up the steam the next day, scoring a win over Mouse, and that set up day 3 match for FaZe vs G2, NiKo vs FaZe, and who would lock in the major playoff spot. The casters were ready for a great game between 2 giants, while the odds said something else.
See the odds up on screen. Would you give G2 that much of an edge in your...
Right, if you look at FaZe's blueprint, Rain and Karrigan, their job on a lot of these maps, especially when we get to Mirage, you'll see it, is to make room for then the quote-unquote stars, who haven't necessarily been playing that way, to close out 3v3s, 3v2s, those type of rounds, allowing them to play.
We are entering round 5, where G2 started the match off strong with a 3-0 start, but FaZe managed to pick up a round with their first proper buy. But for G2, it's not too bad, as that was a bonus for them more than anything else. We can see G2 bringing in 4 AKs and then a Mac-10 on Malps, and it's not too bad of a buy, as they have full utility going into this round. And to be fair, a Mac-10 in Apps, Palace or Underground is not as bad as you would think, as this allows for a lot of sneaky and unexpected plays. While FaZe are going for a very early double op setup, and that is scary, as we can see 1 op do not have head armor. And 2 early ops, if FaZe loses this round, will ruin their economy and give G2 a massive head start. FaZe early on goes for 2 players on A, where a smoke Palace and a Molotov ramp will allow FaZe to take ramp control. As this smoke makes sure Brokey can take this open angle towards ramp from stairs and not worry about Palace, as well as Rain then can only focus on ramp and not having to look Palace. Then FaZe are sending 2 players in middle, with ropz going into window and Frozen going short. And here in the middle, ropz will be smoked and go for this interesting nade, where if you line up like ropz does here and left and right click the nade like this, it will break the smoke and not do any damage to you in window. It's a great play to catch any T's taking mid after the smokes are up. And then FaZe got Karrigan solo B just spotting for information. G2 wants to use their guns to the best abilities and are gearing up towards a B take, with 4 players in apps and 1 in top middle. But a play like this has to be sold, and we will see G2 uses a window smoke, short smoke and some utility towards underground with this flash to make it look like a standard round of 2 to 3 players in middle and not just 1 player. ropz breaks the smoke and can't see any players in middle, and we can see that this information does 2 things. It tells FaZe that there will be a site execute, but it does not tell FaZe what site. As we can see, the ramp push from FaZe stops here, as they now are afraid that there might be a A push, and G2 just waiting outside of ramp for these kills. While over on B, FaZe will have both players going short, and then have ropz coming over to B, to rather solo hold. And it's an interesting way to do a zone rotation. And for the unaware, all maps have some zones, and you want to cover all of them. And when rotating, a lot of top teams does zone rotation, to make sure you always cover the crucial spots and do not leave anything open. This rotation from FaZe is probably not the best. as here FaZe needs to have more focus on any of the sides and not middle. G2 goes for the push.
Shots, and does so. Brings down Malps. There's 3 players here to receive them. G2, their game plan's been sussed out early.
And here Malps is the first out and is found by Robs. But G2 still wants to pressure on B side. And we can see G2 uses these smokes, as well as some flashes, to just pressure FaZe back. And Robs is the first piece of FaZe to feel this, as his position is not the best and he gets shot down to low HP. As well as Snax gets an interesting position on short behind one of the G2 smokes.
Around this smoke, Snax gets a nice powerful position to disrupt. Robs does go down to the flame, frozen revealed.
And he does it perfect with finding 2 kills, as well as Robs gets found, and it's a 3v2 for G2. Snax is unaware that the door smoke has an opening, and it's a 2v2. This is crucial, as FaZe had invested into 2 ops this round. They need this win. Monesi out-aims Rain on short, and this leaves Brokey alone in a 1v2. And this is a dead right impossible round, as he had given up his position in market when he killed Snax, so G2 will plant the bomb, and NiKo will hold and let Monesi plant. On the plant, Monesi is found, but managed to plant, so NiKo will just wait it out, and here he wins a crucial 1v1 to keep G2 in the driver's seat.
Hits the flick, Monesi swings into his angle. Good awareness from him, ready for both swings, both eventualities. Multi-kill from Robs in the previous to secure the clutch. Now, it's Brokey, 1 bullet, 1 target. NiKo active on the angle. Ready to swing into Brokey as he transitions. It's perfect from NiKo.
FaZe are back with a buy and is not looking good as they are down 1-5. But they are getting a good buy with 5 M4s, and we can see Frozen buying the A4 and not A1S. And now when we have the option to pick what M4 to buy, I like the idea that we will see the meta on CT side where you buy the M4 that fits your position. As a short player, you want more bullet in case of a short rush, so buying the M4A4 is better. But might as well be that Frozen just likes the M4A4 better. Keep in mind, FaZe have not bought head armor on 4 of their players, as versus AKs and AWPs it will not matter, and a good way to save some money. G2 are going into this round with 3 AKs, Malps on a worse gun, with Iskalil and Monesi on the AWP. FaZe starts the round with 3 players in middle, with 2 players going through the vent and 1 will stay in window while the other opts to jump out. As well as then having 1 A player joining connector and use some flashes over con to make sure any players top middle will be blinded, so they can't kill a player jumping out of window. As well as then, FaZe will just have the anchors playing on sites and holding. G2 are going for a mirrored play like round 5 of 1 player top middle, just to have some information and present in middle, while then G2 have 4 players going towards A site. And it seems like G2's read on FaZe is how weak their holds are, as FaZe are a much better team in the retake, as round 5 showed us. From the hold, FaZe traded it down to a 2v4 in G2's favor, while in the retake, their success are much better, making it down to a 1v1. After FaZe can clear middle, we will see they fall back to the sites, only keeping 1 player in connector to have some information from middle. And we can see G2 were just playing the contact strat. And when Rain peeks out from stairs and gets hit for 50, G2 will explode out with utility, and it's the perfect call. As in the FaZe strat, they have no players towards site and CT, so a A push is the best play they can do.
Tagged him up, they're on their way in.
He's already on notice. This is just keeping it dynamic. This time the A site under scrutiny.
As FaZe have willingly given away all of that. And some smokes later and FaZe are locked out of sight. But here it all falls flat. G2 has molted CT instead of smoking it, or taking control of it. And this has allowed 2 players from FaZe to be much closer in CT. And it's odd the way G2 have decided to play CT, as they early locked jungle out with a smoke and some nades. And this will force a rotation from FaZe, and the most common spot to go will be CT. And Kerrigan, after running through the Molotov, can find Snax trying to plant, as well as Kerrigan finding Monesi. Man, Unk still got it. Brokey on all of this crosses to site, a very aggressive play, but he wants to capitalize on the chaos Kerrigan has created. But Hunter and NiKo cleans up some of the kills, with Hunter pushing CT and NiKo finding Robs. And just like that, it's Brokey alone on site. And now his position is not great, as NiKo can wallbang him, while Hunter can just push him. And when Brokey starts to run to CT, hoping Hunter is still there, he is found, as Hunter, just before this, sneaked his way back to site, and G2 wins a round that started off in a 5v3 in the favor of FaZe.
Now Hunter wants to take a fight. He's got a good read of the situation. Kerrigan draws first blood. Kerrigan draws double. Hunter pulls us back in. Brokey fighting CT. Oh! Headshot from NiKo. Catches Robs jumping up, and actually Brokey just tucked in behind triple in the smoke. They're going to surely be anticipating someone in that smoke.
Oh, noisy!
Well, I decided to give you all a break so you could subscribe to this channel, as we're so close to 18,000 subscribers. Never mind, we hit that while I was working on this video. Or maybe we can get to 19,000 before the year ends. And while you are down there, why not like the video and tell me what you thought? I read all the comments, and Daishi0861, I will make the sound of the clicks lower. Well, let's keep on enjoying this breakdown, grab some popcorn. It's not looking good for FaZe, man. It's 7-1. FaZe are going for a very default play of 2 on A, and again they are contesting ramp with the same play of smoking palace and molotoving ramp. And I like this play, but from my standpoint, I would like FaZe to do a deeper molotov like this, as that would maybe even force G2 up and out of ramp and a free kill, or force them even further back, since with this molotov FaZe throws, there are chances that G2 can hide behind it, and that will just cause FaZe a nade and some flashes to deal with. And then FaZe has one in window and one on short, and I love that FaZe use the rifles in mid and not just the AWP, as the AWP will be smoked off and not too effective, while a rifle can at least spam the smoke and do some nade plays. Then they have Kerrigan solo B just anchoring down site. G2 are going for a mid take with 3 players top middle and 2 towards apps, as well as using a short smoke and window smoke. FaZe wants to deal with the underground players and goes for a molotov like this and then a nade, in the hopes G2 are more out in middle. Only issue is that G2 are playing it super slow, making this utility set good but not perfect. As well as we can see FaZe has given away middle, so even if this did some damage and forced a G2 player out or 2 in the open, they would not be able to capitalize on it. Then FaZe uses these 2 smokes in middle, and these are meant to try to take back mid, with the lower smoke in con that Robs throws, gives him a nice angle towards bottom middle and short, while Frozen smokes so he can get an angle from short to bench and window. But G2 meets this with a Molotov top connector, making the con smoke not as effective as Robs wanted, and this forces Robs back to window, and G2 meets that perfectly timed window smoke. And from the missed timing of Robs and Frozen, we see something no one expected. Frozen and Robs changes everything, with Frozen hitting a massive nade, as well as Robs able to get this angle here and finds a kill through the smoke on Malps.
Showing that maybe that was a little bit silly of a consideration. FaZe aren't here to play right now.
Oh, there you go. There's some util damage back, and Robs finds the head of Mouths on the spam.
This kill and nade damage is perfect, and FaZe now wants to park the bus. And here we will see Frozen and Robs both give away middle and rather play the man advantage, as this is in most cases great to do. But remember that over on A, FaZe do not have any great setup to do this, as with both players stuck here on site, they can't trade each other. G2 smokes con and goes short, and here FaZe wants to re-aggress on short to find a kill or 2. And this is done to make sure G2 can't control the round, in a man disadvantage. But they are not ready for the boost, and here NiKo finds a kill, on to Frozen, and Snacks finds Robs, and just like that it's Kerrigan left, and G2 has not only gotten back the advantage, but are taken over the round. Brokey from A finds one player, and Kerrigan quickly finds Snacks, and G2's advantage is gone by bad timings, and the bomb is dropped on short. And here a good flash from Hunter allows him to find the bomb, but he can't get away as Brokey is sharper than ever, and it's NiKo left in a 1v2 with 20 seconds left on the clock. And Rain finds him, going back to short, giving FaZe a much needed round.
Fine, losing Harrigan, but there's Brokey's AWP again, good for the double kill. NiKo surely a dead man to Rain's position. FaZe on the board again.
FaZe has not been able to convert any rounds almost when they have a full buy. So in round 11, Kerrigan pulled out his secret IDs and strats. What if FaZe just wins on a lower buy? Let's break down how. On a lower buy, to stack is usually very good, as the odds to even win with a buy like FaZe have with 2 SMGs, 2 pistols and 1 FAMAS is very unlikely. But the chance is never zero. And here we see FaZe will go 3 players on A, with 2 players playing close to ramp and 1 in CT. And on these buys you have to focus on the guns you control. We will see a Deagle play in CT, and then both SMGs decided to play close to ramp and palace, as well as the FAMAS will be playing on short, as this is a good spot for any rifles to play from. And the only issue with FaZe A setup is connector and how the T's can abuse that to take A site. So this setup is great from FaZe, and we'll see Kerrigan just playing close here in hope to get 1, maybe 2 kills before he is traded. G2 are going for a mid take with 4 players using the common smokes, but instead of using the smoke top middle, they will use a con smoke instead. And then they have NiKo in palace, and that tells us that G2 wants to end A. So the read from FaZe might be perfect here. G2 in middle goes for the con take, and I love that it's Malps SMG doing it, as it's a perfect gun for these close range fights that connector opens you up for. You just have to smoke top con, as any fights from stairs, CT or site, the Mach 10 loses 99% of the time. Frozen in the meantime reads the play G2 are going for and repositions to ladder room, and here we can find Snacks trying to be sneaky on short. And FaZe has the early advantage, but they have lost con, so their A-hold might not stay up for long.
And Mongols, who yesterday against Heroic, that Anubis game, that got me fired the hell up, I'll tell you that much. There's something to work with, another opener, but it's more about the closers. Can FaZe piece this together? Sure.
At the same time, FaZe will flash into ramp, and here we will see Rain take full on ramp control, and that makes the A-hold much more solid, as the last two players only has to focus on Palace and Con. NiKo gets caught by a zigzag peek from FaZe, where they will peek out, fall back, and then re-peek from further back. It's straight up impossible to deal with, and NiKo is found, and 2 solo plays from G2 has set them back into a 3v5.
Fighting for how deep they can go in this event.
Nice, wow, nice find.
Okay, a 2-man advantage.
And let's look at the sighting. G2 knows there are 2 players in ramp, so here they will focus that. And you can see Brokey in CT is itching to peek, but he will wait until Rain dies, since giving away his position in CT and dying is a blow, as this can allow G2 back in the round, as from CT you can play the bomb and not get boxed in. Rain finds 1 kill and falls back, as well as Robs finding another, and just like that, FaZe are perfect. After m0NESY falls, with FaZe not losing a single player, all from a great read and some good 1v1 fights.
m0NESY's been hitting some steady shots too, so tough for FaZe.
This is the crossfire Brokey, just a deagle. Rain, the AK off of NiKo's corpse, does well to find Hunter.
1v5.
Robs has done it again. Takes down Malbs. Double kill. Rain finishes the deal. Finds him.
FaZe got their ass kicked. Let's watch the last round of the half with the casters, as this was not easy to watch.
m0NESY as well in that.
Yes, in the bomb on A. In the 1v2. Okay, they are returning to this B bomb site. Hunter, warpath from him. A triple kill. Securing a 9th for G2. He might even leave with 4. Takes down another.
Give him the ace.
Why not?
At least let him have it.
Let him have it. Malbs might steal it. It's going to be NiKo to finish.
If this was the last map of the BO3, why is there still more time left on the video? Heading into day 4, the match of the day was Na'Vi versus Heroic. The reigning major champions were looking at a top 16 elimination, and this did not go as planned, as the match started off with Heroic destroying Na'Vi on Mirage, but on nuke Na'Vi picked it back up before Heroic ruined our chance to see a back-to-back major champion in CS2. But lurking as the last match of the day was FaZe versus FURIA, and this match would not disappoint. FaZe had a disappointing loss on day 3, but were ready to pick themselves back up and make sure they gave the FaZe fans what they all wanted on day 4. And versus FURIA, well, it was not looking good, as FaZe did not have the stats to back up a top 8 spot at the major, with almost the whole team underperforming at this event. And FaZe still to beat a top 5 teams throughout the RMR and elimination stage, but we all know what playoffs can do for FaZe. And they would not let this chance go to waste. FURIA is coming in with a rebuild, seeing them pick up and shine with Skulls after his failed stint with Liquid, and FURIA had to fight in the major, where they faced Spirit, Vitality, Liquid, and now for qualification, FaZe Clan. And this match started strong, with FURIA taking the pick of FaZe Clan in quite a dominant fashion, before FaZe retaliated and won FURIA's Dust 2 pick. Much closer, but a win is a win. And it was all down to Mirage, a map we saw FaZe struggle on versus G2. So have they gotten better? We're jumping into the pistol round, and we can see on the buys, FaZe has gotten a smoke and 2 flashes. This is a buy that can tell us to expect a B play from FaZe Clan, as there is a concept of counting smokes in Counter-Strike. Let me explain. If you want to take A-Site on Mirage, you will need at least 2 smokes to block off stairs and jungle. So when FaZe only has 1 smoke, well, that will be used for any of these 3 spots, as the other spots you can peek and clear, and the fight is pretty much 50-50. And this can be good to remember in your own games. Always count the smokes of the T side, as that can help you predict the enemies and what play they will go for. Well, FURIA are buying a smoke and a kit, so this tells us they are ready to rather play for a retake. FaZe are going all 5 players in apps, and a play like that has to happen fast, otherwise FURIA will get the read on FaZe. While FURIA are going for 3 players on B, as this is a gamble sack. 1 in middle to just stay there, and he can easily rotate to both sides, and then the last is here on A, as this allows him to help middle, rotate fast if needed, and the USPS from this angle is much stronger than the Glocks running out on A site. FURIA will have Queserado jump spotting apps and having the smoke ready, since if FaZe are pushing, it's better to have the smoke out so you can smoke faster than the pistol out, as that will ruin your timing and allow FaZe to push even further up and out of apps before the smoke can be thrown and bloom. As well as the spot Queserado jumps from allows him this pixel angle all the way back in apps, so he can quickly spot FaZe and fall back. Queserado smokes to split up the site into 2 paths, to hopefully funnel FaZe out in the open so his backside player and short player can deal with them.
In the playoffs, 1 final map, FaZe versus FURIA, and a B play being set up for FaZe. As they charge into what's Yuri waiting at short, they leap out of the window.
But FaZe uses some great flashes that blinds the 2 other FURIA players holding, and this will allow FaZe to now take site and use this smoke that Queserado threw as a way to isolate him. And it's a brawl, but in the end FaZe are up in a 3v2, as the flashes and the pure speed of FaZe were too much for FURIA to handle. And FaZe wins the round as FURIA are too split up, and just goes out on site at 2 different times, never ideal.
Skulls has arrived back through the market, but Frozen will deny access into the bomb site. And for FaZe, they will be happy that they get to continue on the T side. They close out Dust 2 with a thunderous T-side performance, and they open up Mirage with a pistol victory here. Cello should not be given any opportunity back into this.
FaZe has gotten the start they could have dreamed about when they faced G2, and they're not done yet. Round 5 will see both teams buying, with both sides bringing out the AWP, and a full buy around it. And it's rounds like these that can help FURIA get back, as FaZe has barely any loss bonus. So losing this will put them in a rough position, while FURIA will be able to buy next round if they were to lose. So a win here will be crucial for them anyways, but they can still buy, so it's not too bad. FaZe early on starts with a smoking window thrown like this, and a short smoke, as these 2 smokes are the default for almost every single team at the moment. Then FaZe will have 3 players going middle and 2 going palace, so it's very clear that FaZe wants to go for an A split. But there is something more to this strat for FaZe, and I will get back to that, since first we have to understand how FURIA will be playing this round. FURIA, like FaZe, does not have an AWP in window, but rather the AWP going con, then 1 rifle in window, 1 on B and 2 more players on A, where they will use some flashes over in middle to help with the peek, and they will Molotov ramp to make sure FaZe can't do any early peeks from ramp to site. And on B, it's all about anchoring the site and making sure FaZe can't sneak out on B as well. Well, over to the strat FaZe will go for. They want to create a gap that the palace player can use, as when you pressure middle, this will force more players going towards middle, and this is what FaZe wants, as this can create an opening for them to get out of palace and find a kill or map control. FaZe from top middle will Molotov con, but due to FURIA smoking it will not work. And this gives Fallen a great angle to top middle. And why FaZe even has top mid smoked, so Fallen can't do much with this angle. FaZe are able to get 2 players top middle, and we can see Brokey will fall back and go towards A. While we can see FURIA will be sniffing out this is a mid and A play from FaZe, with now Keserado moving up on short. And the window player will move towards con. And FURIA has a fun A hold, with now 2 players in con, 1 behind triple and the last player in sandwich. So how will this go? FaZe are able to take bottom mid, as no FURIA player will be holding it at the moment. But FaZe uses this smoke right here, and this is meant for top con, as we saw G2 do versus FaZe, as this will allow them to deal with connector and no other angles. But this smoke will not only do that, look at it. It creates an opening for FaZe so they can walk out to stairs while peeking to our site. A nice twist on the con smoke. And this might have happened because the smoke might have hit Fallen when it walked back, but I'm unsure about that. Let me do when I edit this video, we will see it in the editor's note. And Kerrigan can walk behind the gap, get to stairs, spot the player jumping and walk back. He did not risk anything at all and got so much information from this odd con smoke.
It does allow Kerrigan to look out towards the bottom of the stairs, and actually he wants to use this gap. He wants to slip in behind it. He's got himself bottom stairs control.
And spotted.
Just gets info, drops back at a con.
And with all of this, the execute will be on, as FaZe now knows about the CT player, and here we'll go for the jungle smoke, as this allows the con player walk out to site. While we have focused on all of this, while we have forgotten to even talk about Rain, who sneakily has been able to get into ladder room and waits until FaZe are executing to get behind FURIA and finds Fallen, and Skulls gets fully cleared, and just like that, FaZe are up in a 4v2, after Cello, who is known in CT, gets spammed and found. What a beautiful execute from FaZe Clan, almost perfect.
With that smoke, but the flash comes in and an ill-advised time for Fallen to make the play forward into the open. Rain from the ladder room. It's 1 on Fallen. Skulls gets cleared, distracted about opponents in other directions, and so just gets cleared out of position. And now with 35 seconds left, Cello gets spammed down through ticket box, and FURIA don't even see their opponents.
Going into round 7, and it seems like FaZe will take this round as well, as we can see FURIA buying an SMG and 4 rifles, while FaZe has an AWP and 4 rifles. But it will not be as simple as that. FaZe starts with the window and top mid smokes, and it's again the default setup, with FaZe sending 4 players into middle and 1 solo to lurk outside of A, while FURIA are going for 1 solo on B, 1 in window, 1 in con and 2 on A side. Again, a very common setup, so let's not dwell too long on that. FaZe are quick to use their utility in middle to send Kerrigan up catwalk into ladder room, but he just turns to use the top of the con smoke. And here Keserado can find his kill, and FaZe are down by 1 player. Then we skip ahead and we can see FaZe has left middle in hopes for an A take, and left Rain to come as a second punch after FaZe will take A site. It's a good play, as this forces FURIA to focus on A, and Rain can come behind and get a kill or 2, like we did in this low rated matchmaking game we played.
Yeah, good me.
One con, John, one con. You see him peeking with this gun! Knife that!
One more con.
But FURIA are ready, and here uses 2 players to clear out connector and finds Rain, a great play from Skulls and Cello, to play in an elevated position so Rain's cross replacement has to shift, and here FURIA are up in a 5v3. FaZe on this is fast and runs out on A site, as they know 2 players are stuck in the con area behind the smoke. But FURIA are also ready with Fallen molotoving the default plant like this to make it so FaZe have to wait it out, and this is valuable time being lost to FaZe. But FaZe has some great post-plant positions, as FURIA has allowed them since they want all 5 players to go for this retake, and they are waiting for Cello who is coming behind, just to make sure the backstab will not be too late for it to be effective. Broky finds 1 player in CT, as Cello is way too slow, and the nerfs get to him, as he peeks and shoots, giving away his position to Broky. And Broky and Robs finds 2 more kills, and it's now a 2v2. But both FaZe players are low, and again it seems like FURIA has won a round. But the time is low, as FURIA were too slow to start the retake, and here Robs can find 1 more kill, and Broky can play the bomb, and win a round for FaZe, that at some point was a 3v5. Again, a beautiful round by FaZe.
But now he goes back to it, the internal clock, the timing in his head as he goes back to look for the flank of Cello. But the distraction being set up by the push-through ticket. Broky's got the pick. Cello knows he's in there, but he's given away his position. He shot a few bullets into the wall, and now Broky is fully fixated upon his spot. And it's Broky and Robs looking to close it out again. The numbers favor FURIA, but does the post plan? As Robs peeks up off the top of the stairs, the time ticks on, and CS2 can do nothing but try to flee the scene.
This will be a fast round. Usually when stuff is not working, you want to just try something random, and this is what FURIA will, with a full buy and a ramp push. And this goes so bad it's not even funny. Robs has gotten here, as the Molotov was not deep enough, and as I said about the Molotov FaZe True versus G2, try to make it deeper, something we now see FURIA miss. And just look how Robs can punish this mistake by FURIA.
Sees the shadow, he's got the headshot, and Robs will ravage them. Fallen just holding, looking to try and deal with it, but there's no stopping Robs in this kind of form.
Wow. Last round in the half, and for FURIA it's now or never. Since going down to a 2-10 half in the last map, deciding if you make it to the playoffs in a major is never ideal. And FURIA brings out the big guns, with 2 ops, 1 in Palace and 1 on B. And here we will see FURIA do this fun boost on B that allows the op to get a nice off angle in apps, before the T's can get into apps. Only problem is the spawn for FURIA. Their spawn is a little bit later than the spawn from Frozen, allowing Frozen to be ready for this. And when FaZe gets into apps, he misses his shot and gets shot down to 50 HP. A great read by Frozen. But FURIA are hoping for this, as they hope that if FaZe sees the op on B, they will not expect the op to be in Palace. And here we see the intense situation the X-Ray creates as Fallen is ready and...
Robs against Fallen again. We gonna get any jiggles?
Fallen. Oh, no, we're not. We're just gonna get the swing.
Robs is a monster finding this kill like that. FURIA wants to win some map control back, and here their choice is over on Con, to go from Con and win middle. But Broky has the read, and here FaZe are now up, and Broky finds his second kill, and FaZe are now up in a 5v3, so how will this go for FURIA? Well, it starts with Yuri, understanding that FaZe will focus connector, and here we will peek out of Catwalk and finds the top mid player, cutting the man advantage to FaZe in half. As well as Cello, after shooting Broky and forcing him away, will take the room that this kill from Yuri left and finds Broky rotating back to A. And this now makes the game back to a 3v3. As well as the call that this will be an A play is very likely, as we could see how Broky were rotating back from B to A. FaZe goes for a top con smoke to hide that Frozen will come from middle. And Cello clears underground where Frozen is, but not enough.
Cello seemingly aware. They know Frozen is still alive up in those B halls. The normal player for the T side of FaZe who's waiting there. Ooh, sound cue though. Frozen hiding, and he's fooled him.
And he will be kicking himself after that, as he rather wants to be fast so he can help on A side. And Frozen finds Cello, but not before FaZe, who has rotated all the way over to CT, finds Kerrigan. It's a 2v2. And what happens here? The observer failed us. Robs walks out to fight CT, as that is the only known spot from any FURIA players. And Frozen will help with this flash. But Yuri has been able to go to jungle, and Robs in the open should be an easy kill, right? Well, Robs walks out, gets shot from jungle, as Yuri whiffs the spray, and Robs hit this beauty of a flick. And Frozen reflashes CT, FaZe turns, but since he have pushed so much out in the open, after killing Robs, Frozen can trade, and FaZe are able to close the half 10-2.
Robs coming out of Palace is not a comfortable position for this. Oh, but how has he flicked back? How has he managed to get back to jungle in time? Yuri should have taken that kill, and FaZe cannot do enough.
But after a dominant half, we would see FaZe struggle on the CT side, and I think no other round than round 19 showed it better. but might not look like it, as it is only Skulls left to make sure FURIA's dream of making top 8 in the major stays alive. This clutch is sad, so let's break it down for y'all. Bomb has been planted, the meta plant. As this is open for all the angles in the world, it creates a mid, jungle, palace and ramp angle, making the retake much harder for the CTs to predict where any of the Ts are. But the whole did not go FURIA's way, as FaZe were able to predict and kill 4 FURIA players, leaving it all up to poor Skulls. Skulls is a Brazilian up-and-coming superstar, and many wrote him off after a short stint with Liquid, but the people who knew best, Brazilians, still believed in him, and here he proved why. Kerrigan would stick. After all, he had 3 world-class players holding and searching for the last player, and it was not hard to understand ramp was the only logical hiding spot, after Caserado was found in middle. As usually, you would not have the last 2 players in the same spot, and to even go for such a risky move. And was this it for FURIA? All that hard work to lose like this? Well, when FaZe decide to peek, well, the first player is your UAV, the one player who dies and figure out where the last player is. That was Brokey, who misses his shot and falls back, allowing Skulls to shift his crosshair to Frozen, and Skulls finds the first player. Only 3 more left. Kerrigan is in the open, so Robs and Brokey has a job to defend him on the defuse. Brokey and Robs wants to double pick Skulls, and here Skulls smartly crouches and kills Brokey. This makes it so Robs can't trade and see Skulls anymore, and Robs, who is in the open, is forced to push out as Kerrigan as well is in the open defusing, and here Skulls will find him. And look at the time, less than 0.5 seconds, Skulls pulls out the P250 and finds the headshot to win an impossible 1v4 to keep FURIA alive.
Oh no! Caserado and Khan, they're gonna go back and try and deal with him, but he's only got 1. 2 players left, Fallen hits the ground, and Skull's the only player left between FaZe and the playoffs in Shanghai, and has he got his dark moment? Skulls is unbelievable! Skulls has had his moment!
And for the last round, let's enjoy it together with the casters.
They have not planted yet, but now they commit to it because Yuri's being spammed down. It's Kerrigan. 10 seconds left. They come right through and Robs will close it out. Caserado, as mighty as he is, as mighty as the Brazilians are, they have fallen. Where the storm breaks the will of mighty men, it is FaZe that have endured. Form is temporary, but class is permanent.
Thanks for watching like always. My next video will be about the major grand final breakdown, and then a channel favorite of Mongols and their run. And that will be a long one. Unless Mongols make it to the final, I will be putting both videos together. And a small thing, for the few people who are still watching and just enjoying my content, I have made a new channel, as at the moment I am playing other games than just Counter-Strike 2. So for some different content, it's right there and it's linked in the description. Thanks for watching like always, and here are 2 videos you told me you would like. Bye.